What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Hey, welcome to the show.
What's going on? Welcome to another week of the podcast. Please continue to tune in. Monday and Tuesday are our topics. If you're tuned in, this is the Tuesday episode. But yesterday we talked about the two-factor authentication problem with crypto.com. And then Wednesday we have a really good discussion. Thursdays are usually Ask Us SP. There will be none this week because I'm having voice issues, as you can tell, go through puberty this week. And then Friday, we talk about everything else aside from cybersecurity. So definitely continue to tune in, like, share, and subscribe. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right. So this article is from threatpost.com, and it's by Becky Bracken. And it's titled, Merck awarded $1.4 billion insurance payout over NotPetya attack. So if you guys remember this, back in 2017, the NotPetya cyber attacks, they were mostly geared towards, I believe it was Ukraine, I think, right? Is who they were mostly geared towards, but they actually came out and hit some other places as well, right? But what ended up happening was Merck, the pharmaceutical company, actually had some cyber insurance, to cover the things that happened back in 2017 for them. What's the insurance company? I'm trying to see here. I'll find it here shortly. But yeah, the insurance company that they had denied their claim. So they submitted a claim saying, hey, we had to do all this stuff. We had to hire these people to come in and fix our systems. We had to replace the systems. There are all these things they had to do. And the insurance company denied it, saying that it's a cyber war loss, which they don't cover, right? Because this was something that Russia did that was, again, supposed to go out to just target the Ukraine. But again, it just went outside of that realm a little bit. So for 4 years now, really, they've been trying to, 4.5 years, because it was June of 2017. They've been trying to get this insurance payout from their company.
International Indemnity.
There you go. But they've been trying to get this money from them, but because they said it falls under the war or hostile acts exclusion, they're trying to say they don't have to pay it. But the court said, nope, that's not the case. You are going to have to pay it. So two things here that I think are pretty important. One, that they got ahead of the curve back in 2017 and actually had this insurance for this, right? That's the first thing, right? Two, that they decided to pursue it. So here's the thing. Now, again, I'm not going to go too far off here, but this is Shannon's take on this. Insurance companies, biggest ripoff out there, right? Because stuff like this happens all the time. Okay, there are constantly times where these insurance companies, they want you to pay up, for certain services, and then don't want to pay out whenever something happens. I was actually part of a hurricane when I was stationed in Florida that came through. Hurricane Ivan, 2004, came through and just ripped up the Gulf Coast. There were insurance companies going under left and right. Insurance companies denying claims left and right. And it's like, look, I did my part. I paid you. You know what I mean? You do your part now. You know what I mean? So this kind of disgusted me a little bit, right? That it had to take this long for them to go to court and get their money. But the court said, you got to pay them. This was one of those things where this is what they paid for. This is what you said you insured for. You got to make it happen. So we'll see what comes of it. We'll see what type of appeal comes down, or if the company will just say, nah, we're going to go under. We can't afford that, what'll come of it. But yeah, this was, they paid their money, pay out to them. They did their part. They were smart. They planned for it, right? Because they knew things like this can happen. So make it right. But LeVon, what do you think on this, man? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. You said it all, really. I mean, the fact that you'd have to battle the insurance company, which happens far too often, to get your money back from a policy that you signed up for this exact occasion. And then you kind of look at the number too. It's like, wow, $1.75 billion. I mean, that's a lot of money. And just to think that this company, that's what they must have calculated that was the amount of funds that they potentially lost during the time that they were down. And, you got to imagine how much money is that company worth if that's like just like a small chunk of as far as what they lost during the incident. But yeah, it goes right back to what you said, Shannon. I mean, this is just like this kind of a common scenario we find ourselves with insurance companies that don't want to pay out, and especially when it comes to like health insurance, people end up like going broke or like spending out of pocket for medical expenses that the insurance doesn't want to cover for whatever reason. They find some particular excuse or something to that effect to not cover it. But not to get into like a tangent there, but going back to cyber, I mean, this is
I
like
had mine, you have yours.
I know, right? Right. I know, it's just a shame sometimes. You hear the stories of people, going bankrupt from not being able to pay medical bills and things like that the insurance won't cover. So it's a sad state of affairs, but nonetheless, I mean, I'm glad that this company, they took out the insurance and they were able to get the money back that was essentially promised them for this type of attacks, which is a shame that they had to go through this trouble, through the hassle of, I guess, going to court and Department of Justice, getting a verdict for allowing them to get reimbursed for the money. But yeah, it's good to see. But Brian, do you have some thoughts on this one?
Yes. So I'm always pro consumer, right? But it makes me laugh because I could see somebody in a boardroom, right? And when this settlement comes out, and they're like, "You want what? You want $1 billion?
Right.
Like you paid me $30 a month." Or the equivalent, right? Like I'm sure Merck was paying thousands of dollars, but
right.
But I always think of that, like, because they're hedging bets. Like they're like, we don't expect for this to happen, or if it does happen, it'll be small enough where all the other policies that we're covering can cover down on it, and we can build the pot back up. You never expect somebody to cash in almost $2 billion at one time. So that's why most of them fold. Like when something like incredible happens, like a devastating hurricane or something like that. So not pro insurance. I'm not saying I am, or unless you want to sponsor this show, hit up the website. But I'm saying, like, I don't think when they saw that there was an exclusion, I'm sure they jumped all over it, like, we don't want to cover that, or they used it as time to gather those that amount up potentially. Like, okay, this may happen, so let's increase the premiums across the board to stack the pot up in case they cash in. So let's see, like, if international indemnity flops, we know that they did not have their bases covered for such an occasion to happen.
Then don't cover them for 1.75. So that's the thing. So like, you can't say we will cover you for 1.75 billion and right. not expect to pay that, right? Like, and that's with any insurance company and with any amount. You know what I'm saying? And again, I realize with the hurricane scenario that I brought up, that's a little bit different, right? Because it was all at once, right? It's kind of like the Great Depression. Everybody made a rush on the banks at the same time to get their money out, right? That's what happened here. Everybody filed a claim all at the same time, but it's like you said, it's a pool, right? Like the anticipation of the insurance companies is that not everybody who uses our services is going to collect from us at all. You know what I mean? They're just going to be collecting that money.
Or to be small amounts, right? It won't be 40,000 systems impacted at one time.
Right. But like, you can't say you're going to cover that. Then you should have said, we cannot cover 1.75 billion. We'll do 850 million or whatever it may be, right?
But there's a man or woman inside of a cubicle who does that math. Like, this is astronomically impossible to happen, right? Like, we have a 0.00001 chance of this actually happening, and boom. And then he or she puts their stuff in a box and creeps out of the cubicle, like, oh, it's about to go down.
Yeah, but if they said there's a chance, that you can't fire them for that either, right? They're like, hey, there is a chance. It's just small. Right. The CEO of that company ultimately made that decision on whether or not to accept that liability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was true. So I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? It was just because who would have saw that coming? Well, I guess nowadays, yes. Like 2017, maybe not. But here in 2020, like, I expect all premiums to go up. Like, because it can happen. Anybody can get got at any time. Like, that's just, it happens to be the climate we live in now. So, but that is interesting. I like to see how much they were paying for that policy every 6 months or a year or whatever. Like, how much money were they putting in compared to how much money they had to pull out because they were impacted so significantly all at one time. That's pretty interesting.
What were you going to say, LeVon?
Oh, no. I think you just covered it. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say.
My bad.
Yeah, I lost track of what I was going to say, but no, you got it. You said everything I wanted to.
Gotcha. But it's always a great discussion. Please continue to tune in, everybody. Monday through Friday. Again, Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday, we have a really good discussion coming up. Thursday, no Ask Assist P this week, but I'm hoping for next week. And then Friday, everything else, right? So hit the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, to get to our socials. Get me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, TikTok, and Twitter. And you, LeVon?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.